The Long Beach Coin Expo is moving from a 3 times a year show to a 1 time a year show. Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona, bringing you some kind of hot news here in the Old Pueblo and hot news for Southern California and coin collectors everywhere as the big SoCal show that has kind of dominated for how many, 60 years? So I don't know if it's been 3 times a year for that entire time, but they put out an announcement explaining that they will be moving to just for this year, February only show, and their June and September shows will both not be happening, so they can focus on the February show, but also so they can focus on PCGS being PCGS, and that is the message that is in the communication that they sent out. So lots of things to think about and talk about here. I have said out loud here, and also maybe a little bit more so on my members channel, just how it felt like this show was bound to lose some momentum. And I've said out loud that this show feels like it needs to be once a year based on how it's going. I think once a year they can absolutely pack the house, have a great show, get thousands of people show up, make it still the big show in SoCal like it should be. It's a ton of work to put on those shows, just a ton of work. And I think PCGS could consider doing other shows. I have, what would we say, a quasi-open invitation for PCGS or CAC to come and sponsor the Tucson show. The thing that PCGS does so well with their shows is their member-only shows are just fantastic to attend and get to. And the Long Beach show just doesn't feel like a coin show. And for me, but I haven't done the fun show, but the fun show's got to be somewhat similar, because how many tens of thousands of square feet of space do you need? I know that doing Central States show doesn't feel like a coin show sometimes because of the facility being pretty large. But that Long Beach show is really big. I mean, the cavernous room. The same thing I think when we did the ANA a couple springs ago in Phoenix, where it felt like just didn't feel right because the facility doesn't feel right. Like you have to have a facility that really feels right, I think, when it comes to a coin show. And I've talked a lot about right-sizing coin shows. So having 1 or 2 big shows a year makes sense, right? So you got the Super Bowl, and not just one Super Bowl, but maybe you follow college football, maybe you follow sports in general. So you get some national titles of different events, right? So you get a really big show for the ANA, you got the fun show. Baltimore, similar. I mean, Baltimore feels sometimes like it could be more of a once-a-year show, but I haven't been there much. I've just been there the one time, and I hear feedback from other people. But anyway, I digress. So moving forward, what does this mean? Well, it probably means that the February show for PCGS is going to be really packed in Long Beach. I think moving forward, I think this is a very smart move on their part. It takes away a lot of energy for what they do, for a lot of probably grumbling and feedback from grumpy old dealers that are sick of traveling. I don't know. But really, I mean, I would be happy for PCGS or NGC or CACG to get in touch and say, hey, what can we do about having a show where we can take direct submissions, in concert with, I would do a summer show here in Tucson also. It's not going to be anything as big as the Long Beach show, but for those of you who attended the Tucson Invitational show, you know that it's a nice show, and we have some momentum, and we also have, I think we also have the right vibe, we got the right personality, and we have the right mission, right? So we are creating collectors and connecting generations, and that's our goal. And I would love to see these companies that have said, hey, we're part of this hobby, we love this industry, let's go. And I know that there's sincerity all across the board for people that work there. I've talked to many of them about it, and I understand the move entirely of trying to focus and refocus. I've lost my soul and my mission many times here over the last 7 years. And so it definitely takes time, sometimes something to happen for you to sit back and say, hey, I need to do something differently here. And sometimes you just got to what do they say? Shoot the sacred cow, right? There's just sometimes you got to kill the sacred cow and move on to something else. So I hope that this is a good move for them. And we will see what happens moving forward. I hope that their show in February continues to be successful. And, maybe someday they'll come to Tucson. We'll see what happens. So anyways, guys, leave your comments, thoughts down below. Let me know, especially for those of you who are in the SoCal area, how does this hit you if you live in Southern California? Thanks so much for being here. I am Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.